Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope we're doing good. I hope we're doing fine. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. Of course, Everton 0, Manchester United 1 is what we're going to be talking about today, guys. Absolutely brilliant. Manchester United move up to full place in the table and solidify our position in the league table. 3 points away from third place, Aston Villa, guys. We have to be happy. We have to be happy about that. Or are we? Are we getting a little bit carried away? We're gonna delve into this game, guys. We're gonna analyze this game properly, of course, because I want to look at things objectively in what was a very poor game, to be honest with you, a very poor game. But ultimately, look, you know what they say. You know what one of the old sayings is? It's the business end of the season. It's called the business end of the season for a reason. The business end of the season is not about flashy things and playing tiki-taka football. The business end of the season is about getting results. It's about qualifying for Champions League. You can do all the tiki-taka and all the beautiful football at the beginning of the season, and you can probably pick the bone out of course. You know what I mean? I would say, but the business end of the season, this is what the business end of the season is all about, guys. Let me just see. I think I'm. Lagging a little bit, guys. Sorry if I'm lagging a little bit, guys. Apologies for that. Sorry, I'm gonna get that sorted out. Sorry about that, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream, guys. I hope everyone is blessed, of course. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you much. Oh, we're gonna pick the bones about the game. Now, it wasn't a good performance. It wasn't a vintage performance by any stretch of the imagination. Of course, it wasn't. But what we have to understand. I hope I'm not lagging too much, guys. I hope I'm okay. Let me just double check this 1 second, guys. Thank you so much for today, guys. I'm patient. I'm having technical problems today, absolutely. But you know what? I'm fighting the elements, of course, guys. Absolutely. So what I would say about it is that it was a poor performance. Some players didn't show up yesterday, guys. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Ultimately, it doesn't matter because we got the win. The most important thing for us from now to is to win these games. I know we have to analyze it. We have to analyze things critically. We do. We have to analyze things critically. We have to analyze things fairly, guys. We have to. Yeah, I mean, today, absolutely. And I would say that definitely sorted out, guys. Let's sort that. Let me get my lagging sorted out for you guys, and then I'll go on from there, guys. Absolutely. Let me just get this sorted out real quick. I think that one should be okay. Yeah, that will do for now, guys. Sorry about the lagging, guys. Sorry about that. Well, guys, hope everyone is good in the stream, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's blessed, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, of course. Absolutely good to see you guys. Absolutely. Really good to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, of course, guys. Absolutely. Just trying to get my internet sorted out, and then we'll be fine, guys. Then we'll be fine. Absolutely. Let me just see if I can get this all sorted out real quickly, guys. Of course, real quickly. Let me just see. Let's see if I can get this sorted out. Camera. To integrate the webcam. Let's put this up there. There we go. I think that should be a bit better now. I think I love it so much. I'm going to sort that out anyway. But that it was a tough game. It was a game that, you know what, we could have easily drew that game yesterday. We could have easily drew the game, and it would have been doom and gloom. It would have been gloom. Guys, absolutely would have. The stream begin the way it's whatever. It's guys, the stream is terrible. Goodness me, one. So with the stream, guys, what is going on, lads? What is going on? It's very, very, very slow, guys. Very bad. Is that better, guys? Am I better now? Is it better? Is it better? Is it better? Is it better, guys? It's very bad. It's very bad. Yeah. My goodness me. It's not good, is it, bruv? It's not good, is it, bruv? It's not good. It's not good. We need to get it. It is like Everton. It's definitely like Everton's play yesterday at Tyburg. Absolutely. Definitely like Everton's play. We're here, guys. We are live. This is what happens in live TV, guys. It absolutely does sometimes, you know. But we are live here, and hopefully, I'm a little bit clearer now. Hopefully, let me just double check this. Don't worry, I'm gonna make it. Let's have a look. You can see me now, isn't it? You can see me now. That's better, isn't it? I'll fix it anyway. Yeah, this is better. I think. No, it's not even better. It's not even on there. It's not even on there, guys. It's not even on it today. My internet is dead today, guys. I think it's my internet. It really is my internet. It's really, really bad. Guys, I want to know and stuff like that, guys. I want to know how you're feeling about the game. How is your energy this morning? Of course, there's going to be some obviously pessimism and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Around the game and everything like that. But you know what we're going to say is this, right? We just have to take the rough. We just have to take it as it is, guys. We have to be happy with the result, guys. We really do have to be happy with the result. And to be honest with you, we can't really complain, guys. We can't really complain because once we got the result, guys, that's the most important thing in regards to everything. Because you know what? We could have, as I said, we could have easily drew that game, you know, at the end of the day. And guys, I told you about Senna Lamens, guys. You know, I mean, thank you so much, by the way. Absolutely. Haters are trying to hack the show and silence Sal, but we'll not be silenced. We will not be silenced. Absolutely, Coco, not at all. Big up, everyone. We will not be silenced. We shall not be silenced, guys. Absolutely. Yeah. Look, you know, I'm just looking at it now. It should be okay now. No, it's still a little bit lagging, but we'll have to do what we have to do, guys. Now, guys, look, I know that some people, I know that a lot of the players, they didn't really perform yesterday. It wasn't very good yesterday, to be fair. But you know, we take it as it is, guys. We have to take it as it is, and we have to take the rough and the smooth and say that United got the win. And you know, as I said, you know, if it went badly, it would have been, you know, a terrible, terrible day. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, absolutely. You know, and the best saying Carrick, Bruno had an off game. Everyone had an off game Tiber, but it wasn't amazing. It wasn't amazing. I wouldn't say that. I mean, that's where we get a little bit giddy and stuff like that. But it was definitely a good result. It was a good result. Definitely not amazing in my opinion, but it can improve. There's lots of things to improve, guys. There's lots of ways to analyze it. But one thing I'm not going to be too negative. I'm, you know, here talking negative we could have come out of that game yesterday, and you know what? It could have been a terrible result, guys. It really could have been, you know what I mean? And it is the, you know what I mean, guys. So the business end of this is the most important thing. That's all I care about. And with course, guys, that's what, you know, I would say just winning football matches and that's it. And guys, I would say that yesterday, like when it got to about, I think 90 minutes, when it got to 90 minutes, we were like, this is terrible. This is going to be a bad result. We're going to draw this game. That would have been a draw against West Ham. That would have been a draw against Everton, and it would have been bad, guys. But what we say is that we managed to show character and we managed to get through the game. Absolutely. And I think that was the most important thing is getting through the game. That's all that matters, guys. And Cesco again, guys, we said it. It was a mistake for Carrick not to play Cesco. As soon as Cesco come on, we were brilliant. Of course we were. And to be honest with you, we got a great goal. It was a great, I mean, if you watch Cesco's run from his own half all the way to the penalty spot, you know, it was a brilliant goal. It was a brilliant finish. We have to admit, guys, what a finish from Benjamin Cesco. Really good. And you know what? It's easy when you're running from your own half and you're running all the way up to the other side of the pitch, and then you manage to nonchalantly just bend it into the corner. It was brilliant, guys. It was a really good finish. I really liked it. Absolutely, guys. Let me just get it through some of your comments, guys. Sorry about my technology, guys. Big up everyone. Hope you're doing well. Big up Tybo. Big up Irfan. How you doing? Cunha once again proved he is invaluable of everything about it, and I love his defensive capabilities. A lot of people, I'm glad you said this, Irfan. I'm glad of Cunha. A lot of people are going to look at it and think Cunha was awful. Cunha, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. I felt like, you know, Cunha's influence, and I said it a long time ago, guys. Let me just get it straight. I said it a long time ago, guys, that Cunha has the makings of a captain. He has the makings of a captain for me. You know, he definitely does have the makings of a captain for me, you know, and I think he's going to be a future Man United captain. The way his mentality is, the way he is, he hypes up the crowd. And that little episode at the end where he's going like that, you know what I mean, and celebrating and stuff, it was beautiful. It was something, it was a sight to behold, you know what I mean? And I really did enjoy that. Absolutely, really did. That was really good, of course. Big up Sanjay, of course. Big up. It's the business end. Just get the 3 points. Absolutely. Look, guys, it is all about getting the 3 points. It wasn't amazing. It was not an amazing result, like people say. It was a good result. It was a good result. We take it. We move on to Crystal Palace. Lots of improvements to be made. Lots of improvements to be made. Yeah, at the end of the day. But you know what? I did see, guys, and I want to bring in every single scenario about this game, every single angle of this game. I did see same problems that I've seen for ages. I've seen the same issues. I did see it in the game. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I saw a number of the same issues within this side, guys. I really did. And these are the issues that we need to address. These are the issues that we need to fix. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know? And I would say that if we don't fix them, we're going to come unstuck. We got Chelsea away. We got Newcastle away. And we have to win those. We have to at least get something from those games. Those games are going to be difficult. We haven't beaten Newcastle since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and we have away from home, and we haven't beaten Chelsea in 6-7 years. So it's very important that we fix the problems that we have currently. Now, look, there are a few problems. I look at the game, and I look at it. I think we give the ball away too much. I think we're too slow in the build-up play. We're too dillying and dallying at the back, guys. I don't know how you feel about it, but we're just too, like, you know, passing back, passing forward, passing back and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, yeah, it is a little bit frustrating watching Man United sometimes. However, you know, the sign of a good team is a team who plays badly and still wins. But we have to improve. Absolutely. Big up Shoes Daily. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, of course. Absolutely good to see you. Big up Benny. Thank you, Benny, for that. Irfan, in some of the players' defense, like Casemiro, the long layoff didn't do him good. It is understandable that you want to keep the momentum, but Shaw is bad. Shaw's very bad. I don't understand what Shaw offers anymore. I really don't, guys. I don't quite understand what Luke Shaw offers the team. I don't. And, you know, I just think it's about time we parted ways when we really do need Patrick Dorgu back, of course. We really do need him back. That'd be absolutely brilliant if we can get him back. Do you know what I mean? But definitely Luke Shaw is one of the players there that is just not doing it for me. And it's almost like we're playing with 10 men, isn't it? It's almost like we're playing 10 men sometimes. But guys, at the end of the day, what will be will be. We won the game, and at the end of the season, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll reevaluate these players, and these players won't be at Man United anymore. We hope so. You know what I mean? There's a lot of players that are just stealing and living at Man United. And I find it strange that Luke Shaw now is all of a sudden fit as ever. Do you know what I mean? And I would say, yeah, like, you know what? It's pretty obvious that it's because the World Cup is on, isn't it? It's pretty obvious because the World Cup is on that Luke Shaw is fit, you know, in my opinion. Absolutely. 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 Shoes Daily. Some are just like incomings. We need to sell a lot of players too. Absolutely. Very true. Cesco, apart from the goal, he is a very clear footballer, making runs, pulling Everton out of position and making space. Cesco's brilliant. Cesco's absolutely brilliant. The way he holds up the ball, the way he brings other people into play, the way he runs. Guys, did you see the pace of Cesco for that goal? I honestly, guys, I didn't even see it at first. It was so quick. I didn't see it at first. And I saw Cesco running out of nowhere. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And it just went, guys, absolutely. I hope Carrick finally learned his lesson finally. I mean, you know, I feel sorry for Carrick in one way, Tiber, because my bro, like, he's on the way. Like, at the end of the day, he's an interim manager. And I would say that the interim manager, the most important thing for an interim manager is basically to win the game, isn't it? It's win the game and that's it. Win at all costs. And he did that. And fair play to Michael Carrick for making the changes when he made the changes. And he made the changes early. You know, he made the changes early. I understand it somewhat about the lineup. I do understand a little bit because obviously he don't want to change a team that's not losing. Obviously, we haven't lost. And you know what? We had a rough game against West Ham, but you know what? We haven't lost. And I think you have to give fairness to Michael Carrick, and you have to say, well, you know what? He just wanted to keep a steady team and keep the camaraderie, the balance going there. But one thing I would say is that a great manager, good managers make changes at the right time. They make changes at the right time, and Michael Carrick made some big changes in that game. He made some big changes, and it took character to make those changes. You know, it took character to bring on Cesco and take off Ahmad. It was the right choice. It was the right choice. We were saying during the game, guys, that take off Ahmad. He needs to take off Ahmad. He needs to move Bremo to the right. Play Cesco up front. How many times did we say it during the game? It was incredible how many times we said it during the game. And lo and behold, he read our minds. And you know what? He done it. And absolutely fantastic. FM, the selection of leaving Cesco out just proved that we need a high-profile manager who teams are not selected on emotions. Look, we're going to have to... look, what I would say, fan, you make a point. And what I would say is that I would reevaluate this at the end of the season. I really would. I'll reevaluate it at the end of the season, see where we are at the end of the season. And we can analyze everything and pick the bones out of everything. Because I'm sure that Michael Carrick is getting to know his players. You know, I'm sure that he's getting to know his players. I'm sure that he's trying to find a way, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Remember, this is only his 6th game. So, you know, I do believe that he will get it right. I hope so. However, we have to look at things objectively and we have to look at things critically if we're going to progress as a football team. If we're going to progress as a football team, we have to look at the weaknesses. And in everything, in the players, in the manager, in the staff, everything we have to look at. And we have to look at it in a way that isn't blinded by over enthusiasm and being overly zealous in regards to the game. Because, you know, I looked at the game against Fulham, West Ham and Everton. And theoretically, we were lucky. Now, luck, right, is a very, very good trait to have as a manager. We know with the treble winning season, we were lucky in the treble. A lot of the times, all the last minute goals and things like that, we were lucky in the treble winning season. But what I would say is this, right? You make your own luck sometimes. And against Everton yesterday, I think he made his own luck. I think, yeah, look, he picked the wrong side. Hindsight is a beautiful thing as well, by the way. But he picked the wrong side and he made it better. However, I agree with Irfan here. I agree because at the end of the day, you can't you can't be emotional. You have to pick the team. Everyone knew that Cesco should have started. Man United probably would have won 2 or 3-0 otherwise. But guys, I want to say something about Everton. Everton had about 50, 60 corners in this game, right? Everton had about 50, 60 corners in this game. And we defended those corners brilliantly. I just want to say that if Onana was playing in that game yesterday, Man United wouldn't have won that game yesterday. I'm telling you now. I'm not exaggerating, guys. If Onana was playing in this game yesterday, Man United wouldn't have won the game. It was an absolutely brilliant defensive display from Lamens and from the defense, because they had how many corners did they have? 20 or something like that? 20 corners. And every time they bent that corner in, they flooded the box, and they were in my opinion, they were fouling Senny Lamens. They were fouling him. And to be honest with you, he handled it well. And for a young lad like Senny Lamens, for a young lad like him to be handed in those corners like he did, I mean, so good, guys. And for me, he got the man of the match. Absolutely. Shoes Daily, I feel Cunha could be the next line in Catzy. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Great minds think alike. Absolutely, Shoes Daily. Thank you so much, my friend. I agree. Good morning, everyone, guys. Big up, everyone. Sorry about the technical difficulties before the show, guys, at the beginning of the show. Thank you so much. Impremo on the right, Cunha on the left, and Cesco in the front. That's it, guys. Absolutely. Next week and moving forward. Carrick, keep it simple, man. Exactly. Now, look, we got away with it. We won the game yesterday. Fabulous. But probably, if we played that team against West Ham, we win, in my opinion. Because you're not always going to be lucky. You know, you're not always going to be lucky when it comes to, you pick the wrong side. You know, you could easily lose the game. You can easily draw the game and stuff like that. But you know what? What I would say is that, in regards to Carrick, he got it right in the end. He brought in Cesco. Cesco won the game, but you got to play Cesco now. 3 games in a row, guys. Fulham, West Ham, and now Everton. Benjamin Cesco has saved us. You know, he saved us 2 points against Fulham. He saved us 1 point against West Ham, and now he saved us 2 points against Everton. 5 points. If we get to the end of the season, guys, and we qualify for the Champions League by a point or 2 points or 3 points, we know who to look at, isn't it? Good players score when it counts. And there's no substitute for having a confident goal scorer in your team like Benjamin Cesco. You know, there were some obviously dodgy performances. Bruno Fernandes had a stinker for me, absolute stinker. Ahmed had a stinker for me, didn't play well at all. There were players in that side that I don't feel like played well. But, you know, at the end of the day, you're not always going to play well. My biggest concern, and I spoke about it yesterday, obviously, is about Michael Carrick and his training regime. Michael Carrick said, oh, you know what, players can come in late, you know. No, they're going to train late. They're going to train less, They're going to train less, and they're going to come into match days later. So basically, I don't want it to go down the realms of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer period. If you remember the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer period when, you know what, we were too nice on the players. He was too nice on the players. He was too nice. We can't go down that road. Because as much as people talk about Ruben Amorim, the one thing that Ruben Amorim instilled is a bit of discipline. He instilled that discipline. And we can't remove away from that, because that's a good trait to have, is the discipline. We don't need to move away from that discipline, because at the end of the day, these players are proven week in, week out, year in, year out, that when they want, they can flip-flop. You know, they could turn it on like a tap, and they could all of a sudden, you know, win one game against Man City away and lose to Burnley at home. This is what this team does. So we can't switch off the discipline, and we can't make it easy on these players. You know, because yesterday for me, a lot of the time the team looked sluggish. A lot of the time the team didn't look good. So I would say that, yes, it was a good result. We got away with it, but the fitness levels look low for me. They look sluggish. And guys, I know that we haven't played in 2 weeks. I absolutely know that. I 100% know that. But one thing about it is that Everton also didn't play for that long. You know, Everton didn't also play. Everton weren't in the FA Cup either. So they were rusty as well. You know, I would say that. Absolutely. Stop being aggressive, says Tony. Who's aggressive? No one's aggressive, Tony. Sorry, mate. No one's aggressive. Was Leacher injured? If not, bad decision to leave him out. You could see that he was injured. Fanier was injured. He definitely would have played in that game. Definitely, because obviously Lenny Yora is playing as a left-sided centre-back, I think. Sometimes Maguire was playing as a left-sided centre-back. But yeah, definitely. Leacher was injured, my friend. Absolutely. Marcus. Mazraoui and Cesco changed but brought different energy to the team, produced a goal. Absolutely. Agree with that, Marcus. They were good when they came on. Again, you know what? You don't always get it right. But one thing about being a great manager is that you learn from your mistakes. And great managers, they make the right changes at the right time. The right changes at the right time. When you make those changes at the right time and you win the game, no one can say anything to you. No one can say anything to you. You won the game. I know that Everton haven't played well at home. They're not playing well at their new stadium. I know they haven't played well, at the end of the day. But what we have to understand is this, right? You only can beat who's in front of you. And what impressed me the most is that a lot of us are screaming for the change to be made. And he made exactly the change that we said we should make. And it was good. Absolutely. Kenny, Euro and Maguire were brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely, Kenny. Good one, my friend. Nice that you mentioned that, of course. Mazraoui need to start. Sure, no overlaps. No. Yeah, look, Benny. Absolutely, Benny. Man United, over the years, especially in our heyday and stuff like that, we prided ourselves on overlapping runs and the fullbacks getting into positions to cross the ball and stuff like that. Now, I saw better from Dalot yesterday, I'll be honest. Dalot was better yesterday. I'm not going to completely, just because I don't rate him, I'm never going to rate him. I think that he did okay in periods yesterday. I thought he did all right. Luke Shaw, however, is completely redundant on that left-hand side. Luke Shaw's redundant on that left-hand side. Luke Shaw cannot play there. You know what I mean? And anymore. And as much as I've always been a fan of him, he looks out of it. He looks off it, guys. And sometimes I just feel like it looks like we're playing with 10 men. I don't know what you think about that. And I think this plays a huge role in Man United with our slow build-up. From the back, when we have that slow build-up and we're passing from side to side and this and that. And you know what? I do believe that we need to fill up those fullback positions. Thankfully, we got Dorgu. We can't forget about Dorgu. Dorgu's brilliant. Hopefully, Dorgu will be back soon. I would drop Luke Shaw. But, I don't know whether Carrick would do that. I don't know whether Michael Carrick will drop Luke Shaw. This is the whole thing. I don't know if he's going to drop Luke Shaw. He should drop Luke Shaw, but I don't know if he will. Absolutely not. Irfan, Sal, the first half was unwatchable. I got chest pains, losing the ball, misplaced passes, not 1 second ball one. We should have put at least 4 past Everton. I agree, Irfan. Absolutely. Absolutely. Shoes Daily, for a striker, the goals breeds confidence, absolutely. Just like goals droughts, deflates players, absolutely. I feel Cesco is getting into a groove and maybe knocking on the door of starting games. I think he should be starting games now, I'll be honest with you, Shoes Daily. I think he should be starting games now. He should have started the game yesterday. But you know what? Sliding doors and all that, isn't it? Sliding doors. Maybe if he started, we might not have won the game. You never know, do you, in life? You never know what would have happened and stuff like that. But, what I would say is that, from now on, definitely, Crystal Palace, he needs to start that game. Absolutely. He needs to start that game. We need to move forward in regards to the way we play. I think Bremer needs to start on that right. I think Cunha on that left and Cesco up front. Ahmed, I'm sorry, Ahmed. Love you, brother. But he needs to place on the bench for now. And, bringing him on after 60 minutes, I don't think be a bad thing. I really don't. I think that's a good thing. I think you have to rotate your squad. Keep them on their toes. Yeah, Alex Ferguson used to do some weird things sometimes. Alex Ferguson used to do mad things in the starting lineup. Sometimes he would drop David Beckham and play Luke Chadwick and things like that sometimes. You know what I mean? You have to really keep the players on their toes. You have to keep them on their toes and you have to keep them guessing. And don't become too predictable. We were saying yesterday, I think that was a key word yesterday, predictability. We can't be predictable. We have to surprise people sometimes. You know what I mean? Absolutely. At one stage, I didn't recognize Euro. I mean, Euro's a very good player. He's just a young player that needs confidence. And when this happens with young players are always going to be inconsistent all the time, especially not least defenders. If you're a young defender, it's very difficult. The physicality of the Premier League and stuff like that is very difficult. So for Leny Yoro, he's going to make mistakes. But Leny Yoro, guys, what I like about Leny Yoro, during the 2-week break, he went to Dubai. Him and Aiden Heaven, and they worked in hot weather training, and I admire that. They didn't just go there to go on holiday. They actually went there, worked hard, and I think that was really good. That impressed me, to be honest with you. It really did. Absolutely. That impressed me. Absolutely, Irfan. Xavier, good morning, Xavier. Let's clap Lamens for the young goal we has bought. Sonny Lamens eventually will be the best Premier League goalkeeper. Let me tell you that right now. And he will eventually be the best goalkeeper in the world. I said it, guys, before anyone knew who Sonny Lamens was. People know on the stream, watch out for Sonny Lamens. Watch out for Sonny Lamens. Sonny Lamens is going to be an absolutely incredible player. And lo and behold, here we are, guys. Absolutely. Brilliant. The difference between Amram and Carrick is the timing of the attacking subs. I think Amram would have started Cesco. We might have won the game before, Sanjit, The West Ham game disallowed goal of Casemiro still angers me. We would have been third on point difference. Absolutely. Yeah. We'll be there. Don't worry, our fan. We'll get to that third place. But yeah, absolutely disappointed with that. I mean, next season, the rules are going to change. Next season, I think they're going to have like a daylight between the players. So you can't have, it's not necessarily going to be like, you know, if you're like this and you're like this, it's not going to be offside. It has to be like this with a gap in between and stuff like that. You know, which is good because the offside rule is such a grey area in football now. You know, it needs to be sorted out. Tyburg, luck is part of the game. 1 or 2 times is luck. Maybe 4 or 5 times is more than just that luck. United is simply a better team and had better individuals. And this is what decided the game. Yeah, it is what decided the game, but we could have lost the game easily as well. Cesco has played a few minutes in EPL, but you can't rely on luck, Tyburg. You can't rely on luck. You make your own luck, but you can't rely on it. You have to make the right decision sometimes because a couple of times we could have lost to West Ham last week, just a side rule pass and stuff like that. But thank you, Ruben Amorim, for Cesco. Come on, my guy. Cesco has played few minutes in EPL, but he has managed to score 7 goals in our future striker. Absolutely saviour. Sal, we seriously need better protection for the goalkeepers. What they're doing, the keepers isn't. I think they're going to change that rule because at the end of the day, it's obstruction, isn't it? It's obstruction. I don't understand why it's not obstruction. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. So we had 1 corner. Yes, we had 1 corner. I must say, the sentiment is some of the Onana was playing. We would have conceded a lot. What a change Lamens has brought a new lease to our defense. I was thinking the same when watching the game. Yeah, we wouldn't have won that game yesterday if Onana was playing. Absolutely not. We wouldn't have won that game. You know what I mean? Guys, you know, we have to thank Ruben Amorim for Le Mans as well. Absolutely. And, you know, Cunha and Embremo and all these players, we have to congratulate the signings of them ones, of course. Big up, Darren. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Been watching Arsenal too much. Another corner FC in the Premier League. Arsenal are ruining the Premier League, guys, at the end of the day. Guys, it's not easy to win against teams with such aggression and determination. It was a hard-fought game, and the result is excellent. Calm down, Tybo. Let me tell you what Everton scores, all right? All right, Everton. So Everton at home this season, right? I'll show you. Everton at home this season. We won the game, and I'm happy about that, number 1. But excellent result is where we get to standards lowered, right? Now, Everton lost 2-1 at home to Bournemouth, all right? Everton drew 1-1 at home to Leeds. Everton lost 4-2 at home to Brentford. Everton drew 0-0 with Burnley, right? Everton lost to Arsenal, of course. Of course, they did. Well, let me just get back here. All right, let's have a look at this. Now, let's go through further forward. Now, let me have a look. I'm on friendlies now. Bloody hell. Right, so Everton lost 3-0 at home to Tottenham. Tottenham, we should be beating Everton. I don't care. They lost 3-0 at home to Tottenham. 3-0. They lost 4-1 at home to Newcastle. 4-1 at home to Newcastle. I think we need to calm our tits, don't we? Don't you think? Absolutely. We just need to be like, okay, good result. We move on. Bad performance. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but we move on. Another thing is we need is the ball to support the manager in his decision, or else the players will down tall. And you saw in the past where players play. Absolutely. And I'm glad you're talking like this, Shoe Daily, because at the end of the day, there were characteristics of the game yesterday that I didn't like. Of course, there wasn't. Of course, in the end, I like the result. Of course, we won the game. I'm happy. But if we have aspirations of challenging for the league, right, we really need to look at things critically. You know, all this amazing and excellent things, fluffy clouds, it's not going to get us anywhere. You know, with all due respect. You know what I mean? I've seen it with my own eyes. You know what I mean? I've been to hundreds of games. You know, I've seen when Man United were at their heyday. I know what the levels are and the standards are. I know what they are. And we can't just say, oh my goodness, it's an excellent, oh my God, what a result. No, we say the performance was poor. We got away with it. We move on. Brilliant. We got the win. Fantastic. That's what we do. Right? And I said this against West Ham. That was a poor performance, and we drew the game. It was poor. And then people getting happy we drew the game. We should have won the game. Of course we should have. But you know what? We take the win, but it's not sustainable. I would say that it is not sustainable. Absolutely not. Big up United Blanco. You're doing well. Good to see you. Mandem, what's going on? But most of the game is as good as how the opponent also plays. Everton just wanted to score first and hold up the ball until the game ends. Yeah, but teams have gone there and won 4-1, Mandem, and 3-0. You know? Tottenham won 3-0 there. Newcastle won 4-1 there. We need to do better. Luke Shaw is problem, by the way. No one helped to Cunha, and he looks lost because of Shaw. Could be Blanco. I agree. Everything on my chest. I'm smiling, Sal. We won. Just get off my chest. Big up, fan. Big up yourself. Big up, Sal. We won last night, but it was another sluggish performance, which I blame. This is less intense training, and I agree with Shaw is poor, especially going forward and crosses. Thank you so much, LT. Thank you so much. You know about sport, LT. I know you, LT. You know your stuff. In regards to training, we look sluggish because we're not training hard enough. And there is obviously rumours about Manchester United not training, doing less training. And that's not a good thing. Because especially if you're not playing for 2 weeks, you need to keep the levels up. You need to keep the intensity up, you know? And we shouldn't be giving away 60% possession to Everton in the second half. Absolutely not. Do you know what I mean? And in the future, it won't work out so good. Mandem, Pep brought better football to the league, and now Arteta has bring anti-football tactics, is now making the league horrible. Look at the nonsense Everton copied Arsenal's. Yeah, everyone's doing it now, but they need to stop it now because it's a foul and it's obstruction. I'm not moaning about it. Of course I'm not. But it is a foul and obstruction. You can't obstruct the goalkeeper. If that's done in the middle of the park, right, it's a foul, isn't it? It's a foul. Absolutely. We won the same. We're on the same page. Football scriptures today, Sal. Absolutely, big up, my friend. United man. Also, people should take into account that we haven't played for 2 weeks. We do need the consistent games. Mandem, Everton haven't played for 2 weeks too. So where do we go? Then they should train them harder in training. You've got to train harder in training. You have to, if you're not playing. By the way, Mbremo's game awareness is uncanny, especially the pass to Sis. Absolutely. When in past, United winger would have gone for a goal. Cunha's pass was also awesome. We need this in recruitment going forward. I agree with Shoes Daily here. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. These type of players. This is why at the beginning of the season, I was such a big advocate for Mbremo. I was like, we need to sign Mbremo. We need to sign Mbremo. I was so infatuated with Mbremo because I knew that Mbremo had this in him. I knew that Cunha had it in him as well. I think these two players are the caliber of players, man. Shoes Daily, absolutely. That we need, absolutely. Absolutely, Shoes Daily. United Blanco, Tarkowski fighting while catching Cesco. Love that, absolutely. Absolutely. United man, 7 people watching for 28 likes. Come on, people. The ratio is bad. Let's get the likes up. 50 likes, guys. Come on, guys. Look, we got 73 people in the house. Mandem is right. We got 73 people in the house. We need, guys, 50 likes. Every single breaking dawn, if we could do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Is Carrick destroying heaven for Maguire? I know. You damn if you don't, you damn if you don't. You do, don't you, innit? At the end of the day. And I wouldn't say he's destroying heaven, but he does need to give him some more game time, definitely. He's got a little bit of game time yesterday, which is good. I just don't want it being a Maguire and Shaw thing where, you know, they play all the time. I don't want that. I think that we do need to rotate. And I think Crystal Palace at Old Trafford at the weekend is a perfect time to rotate. I think it's perfect. Euro and Heaven, a future pair for Man United. Absolutely, Vidic and Ferdinand. What do you think? So, I mean, that's high praise indeed, Marcus. I love your enthusiasm. That's amazing. Would put a little bit of pressure on the lads. But, you know, to compare them to Vidic and Ferdinand, wow, the best centre-back partnerships probably in history of Premier League. I would say that. But, yeah, look, the world is their oyster. The world is their oyster, and you never know what can happen. You never know how good these players become in it. And that's one thing I would say. Ruben wanted Gyökeres. He didn't. He wanted Watkins, actually. Wankeres. But Gyökeres is scoring. Wouldn't swap Cesco for Wankeres. Neither would I. But he wanted Cesco second. Absolutely, Lonan. And who's Cunha and Bremo? His players, by the way. What's up, Sal? Bigger Alex. What's going on, my friend? Aaron wanted Martinez and Wilcox wanted Lamens in replacement. What do you think of the Bulls' decision? I don't agree with that. I never agreed with Martinez. I think Martinez is a good goalkeeper, but I knew who Le Mans was before even the board knew who he was, and I knew Le Mans was a good player. That's why I said sign Le Mans. Absolutely. Pep brought robotic football to the league. We see that Arteta and Anti. Sorry, you read that one. Tybor, but this is exactly why I say it's an excellent result, not a good performance, but great result. Not an excellent result. Tybor, you need to understand what excellent means. It's a good result. We've got a good result. And guys, it's not a great, good result. Come on, Tybor. Come on. Come on, man. It's not an excellent result. It's a good result. They've lost 4-1 at home to Newcastle. They lost 3-0 at home to Tottenham. Just calm down a little bit. I'll be honest with you. Respect, Tybor. But, it was okay. It was a good result. We got away with it. Snatch and grab, whatever you want to say. But the performance was poor, and it wasn't an excellent result. It was a good result. That's it. We won 1-0. Good. We move on. Excellent is like winning away at a Liverpool or that's excellent. Maybe lost in translation. I don't know. But definitely not excellent. I'm thinking those ugly wins are good in the long run, and as it keeps the focus. You can, Mr. Renee, so big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Focus on needing better players, but still gets Champions League. He needs to play the right team. Good morning, Bobby. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're well. Good to see you. Did you see Pep's tactic of pushing opposition players into the offside position in set pieces? Premier League needs to change the rules. But yeah, there's a lot of grey areas, shows daily, in regards to the rules. Absolutely. Did Embremo suffer with a cramp, or is it an injury? He was limping off the field. Absolutely. Look, guys, the ultimate thing is this, right? I hope it's cramp, Essex Red, by the way. I haven't heard any news about Embremo at the moment. I hope it is cramp. I hope it is, but let's hope so. Fingers crossed. We need him. What we would say is that I'm not going to get deceived. I'm not going to get overly giddy. The reason I'm not going to get overly giddy because I've seen this before. Nobody's mentioning about the lack of training. Nobody's mentioning about, how we're doing less training, how we are coming in later for games and stuff like that because we won. But the performance suggested we're not training hard enough. And people who understand sport and the football could see that we're not training hard enough. We're not training hard enough and we need to work it on. Now, why did Lenny Yoro have such a good game? Why did he have such a game? Because he went to Dubai and he worked hard. He went to hot training and he worked. He didn't go out there and relax. He went there and he had a good and he trained. That's why Lenny Yoro had such a good game. In my opinion, Lenny Yoro is one of the man in the matches as well. Jumping up there, take it easy, Earth, and enjoy yourself, my friend. Robert, morning, Sal. Big up, Robert. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up, big up, big up. Kenny, Leeds against Man City. Are we all going to be Leeds for fans once again? No way. Never going to be a Leeds fan. Can Arsenal actually pull this off? No. No. I'm saying no. This is what I love about Mourinho's United. He tries to find a way to win, no matter how ugly the performance. Yeah. But it doesn't work anymore long term. Morning, the game was not great, but they will learn off it. They didn't learn off West Ham, though, did they, Vix? And hopefully we'll play better next weekend. We'll take the win. Yeah, of course we do. Of course. Mandem, with the way we're playing, we should really have coped well with being 2 or 3 competitions in the season. Ultimately, we need better profiles in the summer. We can't depend on these current players. Absolutely, Mandem, I agree with that one. Let's also remember that our midfield was bad yesterday. Casemiro will lose balls, passes, and Kobe and dribbling. We are starting slow in the games, and this is not starting Cesco thing. Seems cowardice to me. I agree with Velty here. I agree. I have to agree that. I'm not being a negative, but I agree with that. It's pronounced Le Mans, not Mens. I knew who Le Mans was before you even knew who he was, mate. Ask the community. You didn't even know who Le Mans was at the end. I'm English. You can't pronounce my name. Right, so Le Mans, who cares? Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Get a life, box. Get a life. I knew who he was before you knew who he even was. You know what I mean? Pratt. Yoro equals okay. Your life equals okay. Gaz, all the players were bad with the ball, except Le Mans. We need competition. Big up, Gaz. Good to see Gaz back in the house. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Marcus. I agree. Remember what we talked about earlier. We can beat the top teams It's these games that we have to eke out victories. So it feels good seeing 3 points after that. But we did this under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Marcus. And you know what? I don't know whether this is like an overseas thing that they don't see what happened before. But I just feel like people are looking at things too simplistically, you know, and I feel like, you know, we've done this under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So my feeling is like overseas. I'm looking at it from far away. I'm looking at it from far away. I'm thinking, okay, result, good. But we've seen this before. And that's how I'm looking at it at the moment. Absolutely. Sal, just like the midfield, we do need a midfield. Absolutely. Absolutely. United say that that Tony Coton, who got Man United Le Mans, my kid's granddad. Absolutely. Is that what the doctor said when they held you in your arm box? Is that what they said? Is that what they said to you? Lol. United, I'm taking the win, yes, but that wasn't a good watch. I just hope the performance improves against Palace. Palace are awful, Bandem. Palace are awful. We have to beat Palace. Palace are dreadful, Mandem. They are awful. We have to beat Palace. I'm telling you. They're probably going to be the worst team we're going to be playing. Didn't they lose to Burnley at home the other week? Palace is a given win. We have to win that game absolutely all day long. Absolutely all day long. We have to. You know what I mean? We have to win it. It's going to be, you know the thing with Palace and teams like that, right? Especially Palace. They play well against United, especially United. And this is the characteristic of their team, of their club. They raise their game against Man United. Do you know what I mean? Shoes Daily, my legend. Sal, I wanted to let you know that I appreciate you voicing out the comments and having a good conversation about the club we love. Had some vibe during the United stand beginnings, but not anymore. Thank you, Shoes Daily. Thank you. I really appreciate you. I think I remember you. I do think I remember you from a long time ago. I do remember you, if I'm not wrong, because I've been watching United stand. Obviously, I watched United stand a long time ago. But I do remember it, I think. Yeah. I do remember you. But you know what? You're welcome, Shoes Daily. Look, we get passionate. This is how this show should be. Some people can't take passion and real conversation, of course. You know, I'm always going to analyze things critically, and that's what I will do. And I'll always give my point. But I always listen to everyone's opinion. I'll always read everyone's opinion, even if they're trying to take the piss out of me. I will read it, right? And that's what I do. I like Ron Burgundy. If you ever seen Anchorman, you know what I mean. Mandem, Palace are atrocious next season. I see them getting relegated. All the top players want to leave and leave it. Absolutely. They spent a lot of money on that striker Larson, didn't they? They spent a lot of money on him recently. He scored a couple of goals recently, but they did spend a lot of money on him. They did spend, and yeah, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. I think if Palace get relegated, they're in big trouble. I would say that. I think Palace are in big trouble if they get relegated. Absolutely. Yeah, they're in big trouble if they get relegated. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yeah, I would say that. But yeah, look, guys, you know, it's always these sort of games, though. I would say, man, is that they always seem to raise their game and go up to another level with Man United. You know, they always seem to go up to that next level. You know what I mean? And I don't know why, but they do. You know, and they've been doing it recently, especially for years. LT. We're starting to see why we need to remove more of the deadwood and build a squad of determined professionals who also have the talent and winning mentality and route of play. You know what? I think, LT, I don't know what you was thinking about it, but you know, when I was watching Luke Shaw, I felt sorry for him. I do. I feel sorry. I just don't think he's fit. I don't think he's fit. I don't think he's in shape. To be honest with you, he had a very poor performance yesterday, and I think our team is very lopsided because of it. And we're very slow in the build-up, and I think that needs to change. You know? He's talking about next season, Kenny. Next season. I can see Palace getting relegated next season, definitely. He said next season, Kenny. This season, they're not getting relegated. There's only one team fighting for relegation at the moment. That's Tottenham. And Forest, I think. Forest, Tottenham. Isn't Crystal Palace down there as well, though? Let me have a look. Premier League EPL table. EPL table. Let me have a look. Aren't they down there at the moment? No, they're not. Yeah, Palace are not getting relegated, but this season, Nottingham Forest and Tottenham are in danger. Yeah. But he's talking about next season anyway, Kenny. Yeah, next season, Kenny. It depends. I don't know. Like, they're not looking good at the moment, but you never know what's going to happen in the summer. You know, Crystal Palace are very, very good at recruitment. One thing about Crystal Palace, they have a good youth system as well. They're good at recruitment and stuff like that. Yeah, they're good. One thing about Crystal Palace, that is definitely it. You know, I would say they're good at that sort of thing. They're good at finding the next gem, like Mark Guy, like these sort of players and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know. So I would say that, yeah, definitely. But couldn't care less about Palace. Don't really like Palace, to be fair. You know. I think Palace are another one of those fraud teams. You know, those fraud teams who only play certain games, you know. United for life. Big up yourself. Big up Sal and the United community. Big up my friend. Sal, our team did it again. We got the win that all of us wanted, although it wasn't so convincing. But the important thing is to get the 3 points. Absolutely. Salute Le Mans and Cesco. Absolutely. Absolutely. Spot on, mate. Le Mans and Cesco. Absolutely all day long. You know, with Le Mans, I never feel like we're in danger when Le Mans playing. You know that feeling when we had Onana playing for Man United, we had this really overwhelming feeling of anxiety and stress. Those days. I'm so glad that those days are gone. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm so glad that those days are gone. I'm so glad that, you know, we don't have these extra stresses. Of course, guys. You know, guys, absolutely. Extra stresses and stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. Marcus. Shaw brings nothing to the left side of the field. I agree, Marcus. Imagine if we had a competent left back. We have Dorgu. He's going to come back soon, definitely. It would open up the midfield and create more scoring lanes. That's what irks me about playing Shaw. Useless. I agree, Marcus. He's there. Massive win. Big up, Jackson. I agree. Big win. Could have been a draw. We would have been very disappointed. You know what I mean? Big up, Tyro Gunner. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing good. LT, Shaw, Dalot, and Maguire have been there for too long, and their impact is low and keep getting picked. They're unfortunately holding us back, and we really need to move on from these players, replace them. Yeah, one of the biggest concerns for me, and I felt that Maguire was okay yesterday. He did get forward a little bit, and I felt that he did all right. It wasn't like the worst player. But when we're building up from the back, we're very slow. And this is because we've got very slow players at the back, you know. And Luke Shaw, it just looks very awkward. Very awkward. Maguire looks better than him. But again, the defense, in my opinion, is too slow. You know, it is too slow. And when we're getting in those full-back areas and we're doing passing out from the back, we can pass out from the back, but we can't penetrate into the midfield and we can't get that ball forward. Now, this also has a huge part to play with the midfield. The midfield is not coming and collecting the ball and moving the thing quickly. Now, I would look at the midfield and also say that Kobe Mainoo didn't have a good game yesterday, you know, and he was slow yesterday. And I just feel that our pace needs to pick up. You know, when we're getting that ball from the back and we're bringing that ball forward, we need to move it a little bit quicker and get that ball forward and have overlapping runs, you know what I mean? Straight away off the cuff, those wing backs should be getting forward, you know what I mean? And stuff like that, and overlapping and everything like that. At the moment, I'm not seeing anything, you know? And, you know, at the end of the day, Father Time, it gets to all of us. And sometimes you get older and you get slower and you get sluggish. And sometimes, you just have to admit when it's over. You have to say, well, you know what? That's it. You know, the game is over. I can't play anymore. Like, you remember when Gary Neville was playing and he had that last game, that famous game against West Brom. And he had an awful game. He had an awful game. And then he knew himself. Gary Neville knew himself that, you know what? I'm done. And he said to Alex Ferguson that he's done. Sometimes players just need to admit when they're done, you know what I mean? And guys, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not being harsh. I think Luke Shaw is done. I think he's done, especially as a left back. Because the left back, you have to go forward, you have to go back, you have to go forward. I think he's absolutely a done out here. Absolutely. Tyro, my friend, a big win for United last night. Needed them 3 points. I think you guys will get Champions League next season, and Cesco need to start more games for you guys. That front three is not working in for United. Carrick, change it. I agree with Tyro Gunner. See, rival fans see it, and I agree. We might have beaten West Ham last week if we played the right team. This is what we're talking about. This is what the fine margins are. He needs to play Cesco, Bremo, and Cunha. You know, and I'm glad that, you know, he made the change. It showed character to make the change. He made the change, and you know what, we got the win, and that's the most important thing. Shoes Daily, there is a conversation about extending Maguire's contract, reduce his wages. What do you think? Should we keep him? I think we need a quicker centre back. You know what the thing is, Shoes Daily, you know what my biggest concern is, my friend? My biggest concern is this, right? And let me know what you think. If we don't keep Maguire, if Maguire leaves the football club, right, we're going to have to buy another defender, right? Is that money that we're going to buy? Let's, for example, for argument's sake, we buy Murillo from Nottingham Forest, right? He's going to cost 60 million. Is that 60 million going to be taken out of our midfield budget? And that's my biggest concern. I don't want that money being taken out of our midfield budget. You know, if Maguire goes and we get a new defender in and it doesn't affect our finances in regards to the midfield and the fullbacks and things, then yeah. But the fact of the matter is, what we need to do, right, is that we need to bring in Aiden Heaven. Hopefully Leach gets back, but Leach is a problem. Delict is, what's going on with Delict? Yeah, look, guys, it's very, very difficult at the moment for Man United. But hopefully Delict will be back. And, you know, we've got Maz as well, Nus Mazruri, of course. We've got Lenny Yoro, and we've got Aiden Heaven. Fredrickson and Kolungi are coming through the ranks. I don't know if they're ready, but, you know, they're coming through the ranks anyway, so you never know. At the moment, given where Man United are, I think the only thing is they're going to do is keep Maguire, because I don't think Man United can afford another defender if we're looking at fixing our midfield. I don't actually think the centre-backs are that big of a problem. I'll be honest. When Delict is back and Aiden Heaven and Yoro got the young players there, we'll be fine. I think they're very good. I think the fullbacks, however, are a big problem. I think the fullbacks are a problem. The midfield, collecting the ball from defence and helping out the defence a little bit is a little bit of a problem as well, in my opinion, I would say. Marcus, when the board sometimes go back to watch the Onana bloopers and realise that's how much stress that guy put us through, he should be paying our insurance. He raised my blood pressure. It's worse than you think. Tramps on Sport want him gone. Thank goodness for Le Mans. Absolutely. There you go. Agree on Shaw. 10 years ago, United is the biggest mystery as how the pyramids were built. Luke Shaw had one of the worst injuries I've ever seen in football against PSV, and it was awful, right? However, you can't use that as an excuse forever. And you know what? Man United are not a charity, you know. And I'm so glad we got Patrick Dorgu. I'm glad he's coming through the ranks. I don't know what's going on with Diego Leon. I don't know if he's going to be ready or not, but definitely need to invest in the fullback areas. The right back and the left back would be brilliant. Bolder of Barcelona. It's like when we're talking about Bolder of Barcelona. Exactly that. We need that kind of, that ilk of player. We need that kind of player. You know what I mean? In my opinion, guys, we really do, because we need quality on those fullback positions. A fullback position is such a big part of the game now. It's such a big part of the game, the fullback positions, you know, and I would say that the left back, right back, striker back up, 3 midfielders will be the minimum, the bare minimum for Man United in the summer, I think. Definitely. Shoes Daily. Van der Ven is ripe for the picking if Tottenham get relegated. Yeah, definitely. 100%. Van der Ven's a very good player. You know what, guys? I'm going to sound controversial here, but I like Romero. I think Moreira's got a good mentality. Vino, if Maguire leaves, then go for Murillo from Forest. And if it doesn't eat into our midfield budget. If it eats into our midfield budget, don't do that. Because we've got Aiden Heaven, we got Lenny Yoro, who are good enough, in my opinion. Who I think Lenny Yoro and Aiden Heaven are better. Anyway, I think they're going to be... I think last season, many of us were talking about Aiden Heaven being the next world-class player for Man United. You know what I mean? I just feel like we've got so much work to do in that midfield. We literally need 3 quality midfielders in there that I don't know if we can do the defensive thing. And also, when you're thinking about the fullbacks, guys, they're more important than the centre-backs for me at the moment. You know, I don't think Maguire is as much as a problem as people think. I think they were going to have Aiden Heaven and Lenny Yoro there eventually in the long term, and De Ligt and Licha and Mazrui. We're going to have them anyway. And obviously, but the problem is definitely the fullbacks need to be addressed. The fullback positions need to be addressed. The midfield needs to be addressed, because at the end of the day, you know, those are the positions that we're struggling at the moment, properly struggling at the moment, in my opinion. We had a good defensive display yesterday, in my opinion. It was a good defensive display, you know, a very good defensive display, in my opinion. And I felt that the defense did well. And I actually felt that Lenny Yoro did well as well yesterday, by the way, coming in the game. Great character. Like I said, went off to Dubai, done some hot weather training with Aiden Heaven. I like that. I like that mentality. You know what I mean? I like that mentality. Put the time off to work, you know, and work at your game. And one thing I've noticed about Lenny Yoro as well, Lenny Yoro's bulked up a little bit, hasn't he? He's bulked up a little bit. He's got a little bit bigger, stronger. I like that. I do like that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I do. Yeah. But yeah, look, very, very pleased with the result. Regardless, I was very pleased with the result. I was very pleased with the way things went and stuff like that yesterday, guys. And it was not an excellent world-class result, but we got it done. We got the win, and I think that's the most important thing. It was a good result, and we got the win. Man United need to do a lot better. Of course we do. But as I said at the beginning of the show, it's all about the business end of the season. This is called the business end of the season for a reason. It's about the business end of the season. And in the business end of the season, you have to get wins. And that's all that matters ultimately, isn't it? It's all about getting wins. You know what I mean? If we make Champions League, our defense is not enough. Haven is young. Can't rely on him for consistency. He's good enough, mate. He's good enough. He's good enough. You know, he's better than Murillo, mate. Murillo never played in the Champions League. He's better than Murillo. We don't need to be talking about defenders. Man United don't need defenders right now. We need fullbacks, exactly. We don't need centre-backs. We got Lenny Yoro, we got Aiden Heaven, we got Matthias de Ligt, we got Nus Mazrui, and we got Licha Martinez. We don't need any more. It's a waste of money. Marcus, prefer Yoro and Heaven playing consistently together now. This is for them two guys to grow together, to get their chemistry down pat, like Vidic, Ferdinand. Like, I agree with Marcus here. Absolutely spot on, mate. Start playing them slowly together. Do you know what I mean? Start nurturing them in the team. I would do that. Absolutely. You know, it's such a shame, Marcus, that we're not in any cup competitions, because we could have done that. We could have possibly done that. Do you know what I mean? We could have possibly had, those two playing in the centre-back positions, you know, in the Cup, in the League Cup, in the FA Cup. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, isn't it? You know, unfortunately, we got knocked out by... I don't know why we gave the job to Fletcher. We should have just gave it to Carrick straight away, shouldn't we? But, you know, it's just the way it is. We can't turn back time, unfortunately. You know what I would say? You know, guys, the funny thing about football is that, you know what? You have to look at the bigger picture in football, because football is funny sometimes. It throws up some curveballs. And what you have to understand is that throughout that game, all the way to the end of the game, many of us were pissed off. Many of us were angry. Many of us are saying, this is awful. I can't watch this anymore. People are saying they're going to turn it off. People are saying they're going to go to bed, right? Just because we see a great goal from Cesco, we have to still keep the doubts in our mind. This is not something that is a one-off. And that's what I'm saying. It's not like it's a one-off. This has happened before. This, like, where, you know what, we go into our show and we don't perform. It's happened before, you know, at the end of the day. And it happened against West Ham last week. And this is obviously the concern that we have to keep in our head, right? We have to keep this. Shoes Daily, do you think we have enough squad depth to cope in two competitions? I think not being... Yeah, Shoes Daily, absolutely right. We don't have enough squad depth. But we have to look at what is the most important part of the pitch at the moment. Where are we lacking? Now, in the summer, we're probably going to lose Ugarte and Casemiro, right? So we're only left with Mainu, realistically. All right. We need 3 midfielders. Man United, ideally, need 8 signings. And I'm not even exaggerating. That's the minimum. That's the minimum. We need about 8 signings at this football club. I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, we need a right back, left back, 3 centre midfielders, a backup striker, a left winger, You know what I mean? Then you can think about bringing in the backup defender, you know? Stal, you still owe us 5 minutes due to the technical earlier. I'm not going anywhere, Marcus. Don't worry about that. Sorry about the technical difficulties everywhere, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties, guys. I really appreciate your patience with that. Sorry, man. And I am on my way to fixing my technical difficulties. Definitely, because, yeah, that was a nightmare. It's very, very hard because, you know, when something works and then suddenly just stops working at the wrong time and you're like, for goodness sake, you know what I mean? Crying out loud. Vino. Our defense is capable, but if 2 defenders in our team injury prone, look how Arsenal backline. We can't afford it. I would love us to get an extra defender, Vino. But my question is this. If Man United's signing a defender depends on, it takes away our money, should I say, from our midfield, I'm not signing a defender. But we should sign a defender. I'm not saying we shouldn't, Vino, right? Big up, Vino. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if it eats into our midfield budget, I'm not buying a defender because we need a midfield more than anything. Because I actually think our defense is okay. I do. And let's not underestimate Fredrickson and Kolungi and all these players as well coming through the ranks. And this is where our weakness, which is selling players, kicks us in the nuts. Exactly, Tuesday. And it's selling the players and not replacing those players. You know what I mean? We're not replacing these players effectively enough. Absolutely not. LT. Euro and Heaven should be our future centre-back pairing because they've shown they are good enough. Not saying next season, but as a future pairing for now, midfield and fullbacks and the bench for many camps. I agree, LT. Absolutely, mate. Slowly but surely, what we should do, we should start integrating them into the team, like slowly start pairing them up. Sadly, this season, I don't think we're going to do it because obviously Michael Carrick is going to be looking at results and results only. Absolutely. And I don't blame him for that. I don't blame Michael Carrick for that. That he's just going to be looking at results for now. He's going to be looking at just getting the results in and qualify for that Champions League. I don't blame him for that. I really don't. I think going forward, when we're looking at our plans, I think we do need to think about Lenny Yoro and Aiden Heaven. Because it just seems like such a match made in heaven, doesn't it? Match made in heaven. I did it. But yeah, look, you know, I do think I agree with Mark. I agree with LT here. I agree with Marcus. I do believe that Aiden Heaven and Lenny are our future defenders. And I don't want them to be stifled. You know what I mean? I don't want them to be stifled. Mandem, it's very good that we have a good goalkeeper that can deal with anti-football tactics. Mandem, thank you, man. Because you know what? When those corners were coming in, guys, when you were seeing those corners, right? And you were watching those corners, let's be honest with ourselves. Many of us were nervous. We're going, no, we're going to concede. We're going to concede. But Senny Lamans, all right? Senny Lamans, right? Absolutely brilliant. Handled it like a boss. And you know what? Congratulations, because he's going to be Man United goalkeeper for the next 10 years. I'm telling you right now. Senny Lamans will be Manchester United's goalkeeper for the next 10 years, guys. I'm pretty certain about that. This guy, you know what? He's calmness personified. You know the sign of a great goalkeeper? He's a goalkeeper you don't really notice. You know the sign of a great goalkeeper? It's a goalkeeper you don't have to worry about and have a side eye on him. Like, you know what I mean? Is he going to make a mistake any minute? The sign of a good goalkeeper is like when we're seeing Lamans in the goal and we're like, yeah, that's good. We don't worry about it. Last season, when we had Onana, guys, we would be lying to ourselves if we didn't feel the heat. We didn't feel nervous. We didn't feel anxiety. It's such a blessing to have Senny Lamans in the goal, guys. It really is. Such a blessing, you know, at the end of the day. In the summer, we also have to unearth gems like Lamans and Heaven. More, yeah, absolutely, man. We can't stifle the development of the youth as well. This is one thing about it. We can't just stifle the development of the youth. And we have to make sure that we're giving these players enough chances. And given the fact that we're going to be in the Champions League, the League Cup, the FA Cup, hopefully to the latter stages, hopefully a lot of these players will get opportunities, man. Hopefully a lot of these players will get opportunities. But, guys, my man of the match yesterday was Senny Lamans. It was Lamans yesterday. That was my man of the match. He was my man of the match. You know what I mean? He was the one that I looked at and I thought, yeah, he won us the match yesterday. That's it. Yeah, there were some individual performances from the likes of Lenny Yoro, done very well. Cesco, when he came on, done very well. Most of the team done badly, which was a bit worrying. You know, other than that, I mean, Casemiro, Mainu, Bruno did not have good games at all. And Obviously, you could put that down to rust. You could put that down to 2 weeks without playing. But at the end of the day, I look at Everton and I think Everton didn't have a game in 2 weeks. They weren't in the FA Cup either. So we have to look at that objectively, you know. Marcus, personally, if the midfield is truly focused on this summer, 3+ players and defense, and for 3+ players and defense is neglected a bit, I wouldn't be mad. That's how bad our midfield is lacking. Attack is. I agree. See this comment right here. Absolutely. You know what? If we sign Marcus, if we sign the midfield, if we sign a defender and it doesn't affect our aspirations for bringing in midfielders in, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But if it affects our midfield, I'm not. Because the biggest problem in Man United's team is pretty evident. The engine that revs it up, the middle of the pitch, the defense could cope. But the midfield is where games are won and lost, guys. Games are won and lost in midfield. And also the fullback areas. Absolutely, Marcus. LT, Le Mans with the man of match performance, and now you can see how calm and confident the defense is with him there, and what a save from Keane's shot. When I saw the replay, I really appreciate the quality of the save. LT, you know what, LT, you speak, you know what, LT, you always speak a lot of sense, mate. I'll tell you that. Got a lot of love for LT, man. Speaks a lot of sense, and because I felt the same. I felt exactly the same. I was like, at the right moments, the key moments in the game, I'm sorry, guys. He contributed everything. He contributed everything. Absolutely. Shoes Daily, with all the resources we have, I am amazed we don't have a good scouting like how teams like Brighton, Brentford, and Forest have. We should be able to get more players like Le Mans. I agree, Shoes Daily. You know what, Shoes Daily? One thing I will say about that, because you make a good point. Man United seem to always cancel out. Man United seem to always sign players once another club has signed them. Like, for example, when we were talking about Rayan, who signed for Bournemouth, we always seem to miss out on the player when we could have got him for cheap, and we end up signing them for 100 million later on, or 80 million, whatever it is. We need to cut out the middleman. We need to cut out the middleman, and we need to find these gems ourselves, isn't it? And I think, there's a guy on the channel, comes on the channel a lot, Danny B. He's good on as well on scouting and that. Me and him, we talk a lot about scouting. We talk about players around the world and South America. And I can name lots off the cuff right now that will fit Man United like a glove, for next season, and will be affordable as well. But the problem is we don't do that. We wait and wait and wait, dilly and dallying around and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And we do need to do more scouting. We do need to scout more effectively, definitely. Like, it's no coincidence that likes of Lenny Oro and Cedi Le Mans and Aiden Heaven and these players have been our stand-up players. You could sign players like this, but then you match them with the players like Mbeumo and Cunha and things like that. And I think that works. At the end of the day, like sign Elliot Anderson, but also sign Bawardi. You know what I mean? That's what we do. Sign Adam Wharton, but also sign Said El-Mala. These kind of things, that they're good players, they're young, they're up and coming. And that's what I would say about that, absolutely. Vino. Cedi Le Mans is without doubt the most impactful signing since Bruno. I mean, when you're looking at the difference between Cedi Le Mans and Onana, it's night and day, isn't it, Vino? Night and day. I mean, the feeling that we get with Cedi Le Mans as opposed to Onana, it's a completely different feeling. It's joy and pain, isn't it, guys? Jargo SC, guys, joy and pain. Love is pain, whatever it is. It's amazing, absolutely. We need to get able to get 10, 15 million gems. Yeah. But not like Malacia. Not like Malacia. How unattainable is very Vino, best midfielder, performing midfielder in the world, probably, isn't it, at the moment? Vitinha is an absolute fabulous player. I'm talking 150 million, something like that. Absolutely. If that, it could even be more than that. Best performing midfielder in the world for me. It would be an absolutely brilliant signing for Man United. It really would. Vino. Ambition. You know what I mean? You never know. You never know what can happen, mate. You never know. Man United might sign him. You never know. It might happen. You know what I mean? United Mandem, it's very impressive how Le Mans commands his space and has composure in high-pressure situations. This isn't something that we can take for granted. We can now say that we have a good goalkeeper. Guys, you know why I urge you, please? when I was talking about Le Mans, I was talking about Le Mans, and people say, no, we should sign Martinez and that. I said, no, we need to sign Le Mans. And we, you know what? You can't buy this authority. You can't buy this calmness that he has. You can't buy that. He has his head screwed on. You know? That's what I mean, you know, guys. Absolutely. Definitely. It's unbelievable. You know, that's why we need to look overseas more. We need to study, we need to scout, we need to do this, guys. Absolutely. Well, we were looking for a sweeper keeper as well, looking at Nana. He was sort of decent at Inter, but he didn't fit the EPL in the end. I think a sweeper keeper hype has died out. Yeah, look, you know, I think most of us, you know, one of the biggest concerns I had about it, Shoes Daily, is I take it back to the Europa League final in 2017 when we beat Ajax 2-0. And Onana was playing in goal that day. And I remember the shot from Paul Pogba. And I remember it took a little deflection, but Onana's stance, his balance was all over the place. He went to one side like this, right? Now, a good goalkeeper would have adjusted his feet and would have hit it over the bar. I remember at that very moment when Onana when it went in, that Pogba goal in the Europa League final in 2017, when that goal went in, I remember saying to myself, right? I remember saying that I thank God he don't play for Man United. And we had Romero in goal. And I said, thank God he doesn't play for Man United. Lo and behold, a few years later, he's playing for Man United. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Yeah, look, you know, definitely glad we got him. Definitely glad we got him. And all I would say is that long may it continue, and hopefully wish him health and prosperous time with Man United, of course. LT, signing these gems also helps with the squad depth, because next season we're really going to bench to be able to compete in multiple competitions and stay competitive in the league. I agree with LT, yeah. At the moment, we're struggling with 1 game a week. 1 game a week, we're struggling, you know, and it's not easy at the moment for Man United. You know, we have 2 weeks off work, right? We have 2 weeks from playing and we're still struggling, you know. It's a big problem at Man United. It really is a big problem. And we have to look at this objectively. And we have to say that, you know, Man United need players that can play. Number one, they need to be able to play 80, 90% of the season, you know, because a lot of our players currently in this team right now, and you know, Luke Shaw, Mason Mount, these type of players, Licha Martinez, they can't play 50% of the games. So this is a big worry. We've got so much work to do this summer. It's unreal. The amount of work that Man United need to do. This is why I was saying during the winter, during the January transfer window, I was saying we need to utilize this January transfer window so that we can get some groundwork done for the summer. And then we have to add on top that we've got the World Cup coming, of course. Players will leave for the World Cup 2 weeks before the World Cup. They're going to the World Cup. 2 weeks after the World Cup, they're coming back from the World Cup. So we're going to have a very small space to do work. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. We don't need to look at a South American market as well. Not enough, exactly. I think whatever deficiencies he's Rangnick had, look at the players he singled out. Most of them went to be world-class. Absolutely, Shoes Daily. Getting rid of Ralph Rangnick was a big mistake. Big mistake, in my opinion. Ralph Rangnick should have stayed at the football club. Getting rid of him was a monumental mistake. One of a long line of the mistakes that they've made. He has such a good knowledge about European football and world football in general. He is quite obviously very intelligent, and we should have kept him there. Absolutely. I would love to get Van der Sar. I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Van der Sar and Gary Neville this week. Absolutely brilliant. I got a lot of love for Van der Sar, guys. Not least because I used to stand on the Stretford end in the front row behind the goal, and I used to obviously have a little chitter-chatter with Van der Sar sometimes. So I've got a lot of love for Van der Sar, of course, you know, at the end of the day. And yeah, look, I think a guy like Van der Sar, who is a director of football or something like that, will be a game changer for Man United. It really would. You know what I mean? I do think we need characters like that. I think someone like Van der Sar is 10 times better than Jason Wilcox. Absolutely. 10 times better than Jason Wilcox. Because Van der Sar is a very humble guy as well. You know, he's a very humble guy. And, you know, he does find talent. Of course, but when if you watch that interview, he does talk a lot about the players that Man United signed and how he was surprised that Man United paid that money for these players and things like that. Do you know what I mean? And yeah. Well, there we are. Absolutely. But yeah, we move on. We move on from it. Absolutely, guys. But yeah, guys, look, what I would say is this. This summer is going to be probably one of the most important summers in Man United's history. Man United look likely to qualify for the Champions League. That alone, guys, is a monumental achievement. That alone. Man United qualifying for the Champions League is alone a monumental achievement, because a lot of people at the beginning of the season, guys, right, were telling me, trying to gaslight me and thinking Man United will be happy with 8th place, right? People were saying that to me at the beginning of the season. I think we should be happy if we got 8th and da-di-da-di-da, you know? What's worth Onana, Barthez? Onana, all day long, Shoes Daily. And the problem with Barthez, yeah, he's a bit of a bozo. But these type of goalkeepers, Barthez won the World Cup. One thing about Barthez, we won a league with him as well, didn't we? So one thing with Barthez is that he's short and he used to get chipped a lot. One thing about him, you know, and that's the problem with him, you know. And Barthez is a different league to Onana. Barthez, I think. Barthez is a notch up, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Barthez won a World Cup, you know, and but you know what I would say about it? Having said that, you know what I would say about it? Sometimes we have to look at things and think like maybe it just doesn't fit Man United. Man United, the best goalkeepers to play for Man United have always been domineering, calm, tall goalkeepers. You know what I mean? Those sort of goalkeepers. Celi Lemans, I'm not going to say it wrong, Lemans, Celi Lemans, because you get the, you know, the grammar police coming on me and stuff. Celi Lemans typifies what a Man United goalkeeper is for me. He is what a Man United goalkeeper is. He typifies everything that is a Man United goalkeeper. Yeah, I agree with that, Marcus. Absolutely. LT, I believe we'll get Champions League football next season, but my main worry is the summer window because we are so close to being competitive, but we need a squad overhaul, minimum 8 players. LT, absolutely. So, honestly, guys, anyone in this stream, and let's be honest with ourselves, can anyone in this stream right now be confident with chest say that Man United are going to go out there and sign 8 players next season in the summer? Now, off the cuff, guys, off the cuff, we're losing Rasmus, Anthony, Sancho, Rashford, Ugarte, Casemiro, Mount, maybe Maguire. Buy in there. Onana. That's 10. Minimum 8 are going out the door. Are out the door. We need to minimal wise replace them. Minimal. You know? Look, I don't rate the Champions League like it used to. I mean, Tottenham Hotspur got to the next round of the Champions League, of course. They got in the top 8 of that champion. If Tottenham are getting in that top 8, crying out loud, there's a quality problem there. If Tottenham are getting in that top 8, my goodness, there's a quality problem. Shoes Daily. Another thing why the summer is so pivotal is that our rivals are falling notches down. Liverpool, Chelsea, and Tottenham. So this is the chance we can be in the top 3 clubs fighting for the title. Absolutely. Another thing why this summer is so pivotal is that our rivals are falling notches down. Liverpool, Chelsea, and Tottenham. So this is a chance. Yeah, and this is exactly a good point, Shulzadi, because at the end of the day, we can't let Liverpool and we can't let Chelsea steal a march on us in the summer. And you know what I mean, and sign players that we want and get ahead of us. You know what I mean? Like Elliot Anderson, for example. If Elliot Anderson goes to Man City, it's going to improve Man City. That's what it's going to do. I know a lot of people, there's some people out there don't rate Elliot Anderson, right? That guy, if he's in a better team, if Elliot Anderson is in a better team, that guy is going to be next level. Trust me, that guy is going to be good. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And he just needs to play in a better team, in my opinion. If he plays in that good team, and then I would say, yeah, you know what I mean? He's going to be brilliant. We have to get these players before anyone else does. Marcus, Ten Hag brought us the worst crop of players under the regime in the team. That's a crime. Onana, Anthony, Sancho, Malacia, and who else was criminal? Yeah, he wasn't very good at transfers. However, I would say that he brought us Licha Martinez, of course, and Casemiro. But what I would say is this. I feel he needed help. I think there was, I think someone said it at the time that they're expecting Erik Ten Hag to do everything. You know, I think he needed help in regards to transfers. He was basing his idea of transfers around personal feelings. My mate, for example, my friend Onana, my friend Licha, like that sort of thing. Even though Licha's become a good player, Rasmus was a bad signing, for Man United. Ultimately, Rasmus was a bad signing, and It didn't work out real well for him, did it? At the moment, what I'm looking at Amram, mate, had some good signings. Every player that's come in for Amram has done well, in my opinion. Lamans, Dorgu, Bremo, Cunha, Cesco. All those players there from Amram, fair play. And you have to give credit to the board as well. I'm not one of those guys, but that you know what, just because I don't like somebody, I try to add weight to the narrative, to add, like, you know, to sort of slander them sort of thing. I don't do that. So I think they done well on that, but they didn't do enough. That's the problem. They didn't do enough. They had a 4 out of 10 window. This is why they had a 4 out of 10 window, because we didn't fix the midfield. We didn't fix the fullback positions. We didn't fix the squad. You know what I mean? Anderson can be as impactful as Bremo and Cunha. In a better team, they are shining. Absolutely, Tuesday. I agree. Big up, Richard. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Can't wait for the Palace game on Sunday. Come on, my friend. I can't wait too. I can't wait for the games. I can't wait. I want Man United to play straight away. I want us to play now. Now we really do. Get the chopper. Let's go. We need. I hope that you know. I don't want the, you know, this narrative where Palace show up against Man United. We need to put Palace to the short sword. We beat them away from home. We need to beat them at home as well, guys. At the moment, how many is it now? 5 out of 6 games Man United won. Let's make it 6 out of 7. 6 out of 7 games. Guys, I've been on streams, right? I've been on streams, and I said Man United can come second or third. People laugh at me. You know what they said to me? You know what they said to me, guys? They sat there and said, you know what? There's level of delusion. Then there's delusion. They said that to me. I don't talk for the sake of talking. I zip and I listen and I observe. And when I speak, I make sure it's effective. And when I said, I think Man United are going to come second or third, lo and behold, here we are, guys. We could come second or third. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then, obviously, it's down to the board what decision they make with Michael Carrick. Michael Carrick. We have to wait and see what happens with Michael Carrick, of course. You know, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a big decision. Damned if you do, damned if you don't in regards to Michael Carrick. Because at the end of the day, if Michael Carrick gets the job and he fails, people are going, we should have got Luis Enrique. We should have got an experienced manager. If Michael Carrick doesn't get the job and we bring in a Luis Enrique or we bring in a Nagelsmann or Tuchel and they fail, people are going to say, we should have just kept Michael Carrick. Vino, if City get Anderson, we need to get a good ball-winning and Gundogan-type midfielder. Stiller's brilliant, Vino, yeah. That's one of them, but I still believe in Anderson. I still believe we can get Anderson. I'm not giving up hope on Anderson. Anderson hasn't clarified anything that he's going to Man City. He hasn't made up his mind. Nottingham Forest are waiting until after the World Cup because obviously Nottingham Forest could get relegated. So they're going to be looking at it like the price of Anderson could reduce, but it also could elevate in the World Cup. Because if Anderson has a good World Cup for England, his price is going to elevate and it's going to be a bidding war with Anderson. So I think Anderson and Nottingham Forest have not made up their mind on where they're going. So they're not necessarily going to be going to Manchester City. Not necessarily, you know, at the end of the day. Not necessarily going to be going to Man City. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But guys, I want to say thank you, everyone, on this stream, guys. Sorry again about the technical difficulties at the beginning. Really appreciate everyone staying so patient with me. Really appreciate you all. And guys, don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. If you guys can do that for me, that's absolutely fantastic. Don't forget to smash a like, guys. And don't forget to put your notifications on in case I do go live as well, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shoes Daily. Thank you, Bobby, you legend. Big up yourself. 3 centimeter, 2 fullbacks, backup goalkeeper, and a natural left winger, and anything else should be bolster our squad to be able. I agree with you, man. Big up, Richard. You're a legend, mate. Thank you. Sorry about the beginning of the show. That happens. Keep going, brother. Thank you, Shoes Daily. You're a legend, brother. Thank you, mate. Absolute legend. Sorry about the technical difficulties earlier. That's live TV, guys, at the end of the day. Have a great day, great night, great morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. And guys, don't forget, I'll be back later on. Take it easy, guys. Peace.